Hello guys. So I've been meaning to do this video for quite a while now, as those of you following me know. I'm taking care of the elderly narcissist. Okay. So this video I want to make was about the difficulties you might encounter if that day comes. For some reason you are the one who is stuck with the elderly narcissist. So yes, my friends, if you are the one who is, for whatever reason, taking care of them, either because there are no other siblings or other people close to them, either because there is no money in the bank to put them in a proper home, or whatever the reasons are, even if you feel that you owe that person, that narcissist in your life, that parent in your life, and you get to the point where you have to take care of them, okay, you will encounter different difficulties, and this is what I wanted to talk about. So if you are one of those people who have just realized that their parent is not only mean and awkward and whatever, but is a narcissist, and all these things they've been doing to you, it's not because it was your fault, or because they woke up on the wrong foot that day or whatever, but because they have a bloody awful character, being a narcissist, and everything they do they know that they're doing. So if you're in that phase, you first need to get angry with them, at them. You need to get that anger out of you, because it's been in there all these years, from the way, because of the way they were treating you. So when you are in the phase where you realize that shit, it's tactique, it's their way of handling things, then you are at the phase where you are going to need to get that anger out, that hate out, because if you keep it in, it's going to drive you mad. And this is part of what has been driving you mad all these years, wanting to be angry at the abuse, the abuser, and not being able to do it, for all the reasons that we're not going to go through with. It's the way you've been programmed, it's the way you've been taught, it's what they taught you to be afraid of, and their reaction to whatever you're going to say and all that. So you've been handling this situation in a totally wrong way, in the way they want you to handle it. For them it's the right way, and so you have to go through that phase where you're going to be mad at them, angry, and blame them. Okay, because all these years you were kind of going, is it them, is it me, is it them, is it me? And now you know it's them. What has to do with you? You're fixing it. But it's them. So you have to change what's done wrong to you now. But first you have to be angry at them and blame them. Once you're over that, then maybe you can watch this video. Otherwise, this is going to be very triggering, because you're going to wonder, why is she fucking taking care of that mean old fart, And yes, why am I? There's many reasons. This is a process you have to go through on your own, So now I'm just talking now to help the people that are just getting into the situation of having to take care of the elderly, and they have these, voices talking to them and saying, no, don't do it, yes, do it, because you won't be able to face yourself, or live with yourself if something happens or whatever. So you take the decision of doing what you feel better with, and that decision is taking care of the old bag. So when they're degrading, health-wise and brain-wise and all that, for whatever reason, mine is alcoholism and medication, okay? Because even the medication, even if they've been diagnosed with being bipolar, they will give them, or depression, they will give them some sort of medication that is going to make them very drowsy, and confusion also. There's confusion in time and people and faces and all that. But there's always the old narcissist in them that wakes up every now and then, but it's more calm now. Okay. So this gives you the opportunity to practice your humor, because you realize that they're sick and they're mean anyway, even if they look softer now and nicer now, because you're taking care of them, and they like that. They like being taken care of, they like the fact that you didn't throw them in old people's home and you've got them near you. I don't have them in my house. That's my limit. I living next to her. I moved to a house that is next to her and in the same land, so I just walk to her house 3 times a day. I do all the shit I have to do, plus I got to the point where I did what I didn't think I would ever do, wipe her ass and clean her, and when she's done on herself. And that is a hard point if you're not used to that, and if you it's something that really, really disgusts you, like it did me. And I never. Well, the day happened that I had to. There was no choice. I had to do it, and it didn't traumatize me the way I thought it would. The moment was hard. And then you have the humor part that I was saying, that you can practice your humor, exactly, because they are not well in the head. There is no point. You realize then that there is no point in getting into conversations in which you're trying to find, you're right. Okay? That's not going to happen, ever. So you're not going to find your right, so you might as well joke with them. And I've adapted in the last few months a kind of response, which is not really sarcastic, would you say? I mean, like my mother would say, if I get out of her house, because I go there with food, with a Tupperware with food, then, after I've done, she's eaten everything, I wash my Tupperware, her Tupperwares actually, and I take them back to my house, from which I'm going to refill with food next time I go. Okay, so it's a thing. Come and go. So the day, yesterday I was getting out with with her Tupperwares in a bag, and she was like, "Oh, this is mine, Yeah, narcissist, everything is theirs. What are you taking from me? They always make you feel, mine anyway, always made me feel like she didn't trust me. She was suspicious of me. And so this was triggering at the beginning, but now I'm over it. It's like, so instead of going, yeah, I'm not going to steal them from you, I said to her, yeah, aren't you a lucky woman? You give free empty Tupperwares and they come back to you full. Yeah, and she laughed. And this is when I realized that the narcissist knows exactly what they're saying. They are bored. They are people with a big sense of humor, in a way, if you think about it. They have a big sense of humor, because all these years they were teasing us. They were trying to provoke us, but in a very clever way. So it's kind of sense of humor. And when I answered that back to her, aren't you a lucky girl, you're giving me empty Tupperwares and I bring them back full, she started laughing. She found that very funny. And I had noticed all these years that my mother, I actually didn't think she got what sarcastic humor is, because if she was in a group of 6 people, and she would provoke and insult them and all that, and the one who didn't like it and who would talk back to her in a very sarcastic tone, she liked them that person the best. Sarcastic one, who's going to really laugh at her, joke at her in a way, she would like them. And I was like, fuck, that person is not being nice to her, and yet she's liking it all like that. And you're such a funny guy, and you think, no, but don't they realize that what they said was wrong or mean or whatever or hurtful or whatever, but they don't. They fucking don't. Most of the time, they don't. For some reason, they don't understand why we should be hurt. How could we be hurt? I'm using humor now, I'm humoring you. I've just thrown in your face a thing. And this is the thing. And we get into the situation where we explain and tell them and they kind of enjoy all this, and they think we're stupid for getting into that game. This is the thing. They think we are stupid for getting into that game and not getting their humor and not getting their sarcasm as a very intelligent way of saying things. My mother turned around recently, and it was another crazy thing like that she said, like the one when she asked where her sister who died 10 years ago was. And I was like, what, where did she go? She said, where did she go? And I said, what do you mean, where did she go? She was here, we were eating together, and then she left. Why did she leave? And I'm like, your sister's dead. It's been dead for the last 10 years, even more maybe, oh, yeah, okay. So this is confusion, kind of. But then she did it a little more and more and more with different things. Like I went there with my 10-year-old son, and she was like, when I went again, she said, so where's your brother? And I'm like, what? It's a little boy you came with this morning. And I'm like, that's my son, And she looks at me and she goes, I'm pulling your leg. I knew that would get you mad. And I look at her and she said, no, let's be, and then it goes again. She says, no, let's be serious. Your brother, isn't he your brother, And she looks straight at me in the eyes and she's waiting for my reaction, And I'm not like I used to be before, and I look at her because I also analyze her like this, and I look at her and I say, you're teasing me, aren't you now? You're pulling my leg. And she was like, no, why would I? Kind of like this. And because you're laughing. Mostly because you're laughing when you're saying it, because if you were the old lady that forgets things, you would say, oh, really? He's not your brother? Why am I thinking that? You would be a bit confused and upset that you're confused or worried that you're confused. I said, but you're laughing. You're finding it very funny. You're enjoying yourself now, yeah? You're teasing me. He's my son. No, you invent things, And then she goes like that. And it's a kind of bullcrap game she's playing with me. I know that because she's laughing. So they are jokers, really. And they like it if you joke back to them, even if you've been being sarcastic. They don't mind it. They like it. They think you're intelligent then, because you're just like them. My mother kind of enjoys it when I get in there and I shout, I have a go at her, and I shout at her like she's a little child. Yeah, she loves it. She's enjoying it. And she doesn't say anything there. And, she's not fighting back. She's not just, enjoying somebody, letting her off in a way. So, know that narcissists are people who are bored. Especially now in her situation where she doesn't do anything. She goes from the sofa to the kitchen to the bathroom. That's all she does. She sleeps on the sofa, so she's closer to everything. She doesn't have to move much. She can't anyway. But this has been her life the last 5 years. It's a life with nothing interesting in it. So they create drama, they create all that to keep it interesting, to keep it life spicy, Let me get you mad, so you can be angry and scream around and talk about me, and I can talk back about you, and whatever, and let's have fun. this is really what a narcissist is, you know. A fucking bored person. And the narcissist is a gossiper. We slander, triangulation. It always has flying monkeys. It always has to do with other people. It's always about gossip in a way, you know. And not in a way. It is gossip, that's all. So they're spending their time like this. And now that she doesn't have anything to do and not many people to call, she kind of has to like me. She has to be nice to me. And she's being nice in such fake way, you know. But she's too old and too weak to do better, I know. But it's like, I've heard these days, like, ooh, you know, you're one of these people that get more and more beautiful as they age. I'm fucking at my worst. You know, I live in the countryside. I don't care. I don't have people who come and see me. I don't make up. I'm with my Wellington boots and my jog suits all day. My hair tied in a bun, you know. Don't give a shit about myself now, my appearance now. So, frankly, I'm at my worst, and my mother finds the time to tell me how beautiful I am and how all this, and it's all so fucking fake, you know. And you're so cute, you know. I've never heard the word cute, not even when I was a child. I don't remember hearing the word "you're cute" yet. She told me I'm cute. So okay, all this fakeness and all that, you're over it. You're over that. You know, you've past that stage where you get upset about their hypocrisy and their fakeness and all that, you know, and you want to tell them and find your right, like we say in Greek, find my right. But you're done with that. You don't care. So it becomes a game. You start to play their game, and then everybody's satisfied, and it's much easier to a certain limit. Another thing that is going to be hard when you're at that stage that you're going to go through, if you have siblings or other family members that could have helped, you know, out. So I will make another video about another pressure that you get when you're through that phase of taking care of the elderly.